everybody, welcome back. So it's not that cold out, but I got this on just because I've been in the cold a lot, and I don't know, it's probably best just keep a jacket on. But here's my little basket I've got here. I got some poblanos, some jalapenos, but these are what I could grab out of my garden. But pretty much today's video, we're just going to go in my garden. I need to pull everything that's dead, grab the rest of what I can out of there that's, you know, edible, because it's been frosting every night now, and just kind of stack up the tomato cages and maybe throw some straw down, so next spring I'll have a nice fresh bed of straw and plants just kind of sitting on top of my tarps where I grow. So there's that little basket, but we're gonna go ahead and head in there. And I bought this hoe from Walmart right there. I think it was 10 bucks. It was 25 originally, and it was on sale, so that's nice. So we use that, and real quick, I'll show Bowls in here right now. There he is. Just lost a cat last night. Now his leg's hurting over here, but he is about 11 years old now. So it's just his leg though, and they keep chasing him, so he keeps walking on it. But I'll see you guys in the garden. Alright guys, so this is the most successful garden I've ever had. I did have a lot of success. I know next year I'll do better though. I started about 2 months late this year, and I still had a lot. So we're just going to do a little quick tour of this because I did do a video a couple months ago. I added in a Concord grape. Over there's my habaneros. See, there's a couple on there still, but those are probably ruined from the frost, which is fine. I already had about 20 off of it. Right down here is kale, red cabbage, that's broccoli, and over there's carrots. So this is my cold weather bin. These will still keep growing. As you can see, they're unfazed from the frost. I've got another little bucket of carrots over there. I did have potatoes in that, but I harvested them. Over here's where I had a bunch of radishes that I found the seeds for in our old garden, because one of them seeded, and I planted them in there, so now there's radishes. Over there's the butterfly bush and the basil. Obviously the basil leaves are wilted, and all down through there you can see all of my peppers are now wilted, and the tomatoes down there are completely dead. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go through, grab whatever we can that is still good and not spoiled, put it in our basket, and then we're gonna pull everything we can up, drop it down on the tarp, and just kind of tidy things up, and then we got to get the tomato cages and bring those up here. So it's just kind of a little couple hours in the garden here, just getting it ready for next spring. So we don't have much daylight, and today's daylight saving time, so we're gonna go ahead and start working in here. I think we're gonna start with the peppers. Alright guys, so we're gonna start right here. Obviously I won't be able to film all this today. We're gonna start with this tomato. Those are spoiled, so I'm gonna grab this tomato wiring off of here. Yeah, these are pretty well done. The first frost we got totaled these, and the peppers didn't have a good time, and then since it snowed and frosted a couple more times, these are done. So I've had a lot of peppers this year though. I'm really surprised with what I've had. But like I said, next year I'll do a lot better. So this wiring I'll reuse. I'm just going to throw it in the center. And we'll pull this guy up. There's that entire tomato plant. I've had hundreds of tomatoes off of these. And we're just going to drop it down there. Let it sit. So here's the pepper. And obviously I'm not going to show doing all of these because it take too long. But I'm just going to pull them straight out of the ground. Give me a little shake. Any dirt's fine right there. And I'm going to leave a stake where the hole is so I know where to plant next year, because there's a hole in the tarp there. There's poblano. Right there. Throw that in the basket. There's another one. Pull that off. Put that in the basket. And another one. And none of these are squishy. They're still very solid. I would like them to turn red though. So we'll see what we do with that. But I had some pretty good pepper plants for starting 2 months late. And also, the first 2 months of growing them, I was growing them wrong because they kept getting burnt by the tarp. So that's when I put straw down. So there's one, and I've already pulled, like I said, I have pulled so many off of these plants. It is insane. And I have stakes in the ground here, so I know where to replant. I gotta put the stake back in the ground. So, it's like this here. This one's fine. The leaves are slimy. Sorry guys, I'm always on a manhunt for another SD card because they always run out on me. But those peppers are pulled, so the 2 Poblanos that are there. So I'm gonna go ahead and swipe through all these peppers. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 peppers down through there. And I'm just gonna go ahead and go through and pick what's good, set the stalks down, and then I will show you guys once I have it set up there. Okay guys, so we have a helper. Duke is out here. So all the peppers are done, they're all laid down. And I tell you what, they are stocky. I mean, they are just like, some of them are like that big around. It just feels like a log. So they're all pulled, laid down. Also, the one beefsteak that I had at the corner, that's tore down. My lavender, that started about this small at the beginning of this year, and now it is that. So the lavender took off, but the peppers are pulled. So now, just got to move on to these dried up tomatoes through here. And pretty much just the same thing. But these have a lot of wiring on them, this tomato wiring, which it's easy to break it off whenever they're this big. Well, whenever they're this dry. See, this just dried up so fast. These were alive, still holding on, about a week ago, and they're already this dry, so it's pretty crazy. Alright. Some of this wiring's fine. I'll just leave it, lay it down in the garden. It doesn't even matter. So, I gotta do all these tomatoes. About 10 of them through here. Okay guys, so this side is done. They're all laid down. It sucks because there's these big tomatoes, but they're done. So this is all good. It's all compost. None of it's going to waste. We've already canned, well, kind of like freezer bagged so many tomatoes from here. It is insane how many tomatoes I got out of here. So now we got to move down to this side, right over here. So over here I just have, down at the end I got zucchini, which was just an extra. Still got tons off of that one. That was an heirloom tomato. These were my little sun sugar tomatoes. Had so many, see them all on the ground, the extra. Didn't need them. And over here I just have some flowers, which just leave them alone. So I probably won't plant any veggies next year here. I think I'm going to keep everything to the side of this fence, my flowers. So this will just be flowers more than likely to bring the bees in. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead and pull this stuff. And there is grass in there. You'll see grass, but it's not going to grow because it's on top of the tarp. It's not going to root that well because there's nothing on the tarp that can really hold it. So I'll just go through once we're done with a hoe, just kind of rake it all in. So it don't really matter. So I'm going to pull this stuff out and I'll see you guys after that. Okay guys, so I just want to show you what a good zucchini looks like. So the main body of it goes all the way down to right here. And the way I trim these, as they crawl on the ground, I cut off the trail as they go. And people think it's over pruning until you do, you know, what I do and a lot of gardeners do, and you cut like a ton of leaves off. There's only like 5 or 6 leaves left on a huge plant like this because they pop leaves constantly and you do not want another leaf covering one. If there's one getting covered, chop that or chop the one above it so that one can come out, because that's when you get the problems. So this was just an extra one. It just kind of sprouted out of where I had another zucchini. So I'm going to throw that down there for compost. But I'll show you real quick over here. This whole corner's done, by the way. Show you real quick a couple more of these zucchini that I have. Oh, here's a zucchini that hid from me. Right there. That one's long gone. I'll use it for seeds because I don't have any seeds now that I think of it. Just got this little... Had to get him. I'll put him on a pepper plant. There he goes. So, I'll show you this. This looks like a ton of plants right here, right? Pull this up. Apologize if the camera work is not good today. It is just very sunny and I cannot see anything. This is one plant. So, this one plant has 3 different plants coming off of it. 3. There's the main root. Obviously some rotted away. It's a bit bigger than that. And you can see all this brown is where I pruned it through the year. That's where I pruned it. See where the brown is? That's all where I cut off. So in doing that, it really helped the plant. Here's another one. There was only 2 zucchini plants up here, and I had about 50 off of these. This rooted from right there. So that is one plant once again. Also, it's great mulch. Zucchini has a lot, so it's good mulch. It does dry up into not so much, but you just kind of lay it like I do on top of the tarp, then you'll be fine. So those are all pulled. I don't even need to do anything. I just gotta leave them now. So now we're gonna move up to our butternut squash and cucumber cage right here. And all I gotta do is this. Really just kind of rip these vines off. Throw them on the ground. Now I won't be able to show you how far my cucumber plants went because a lot of the vines have already gone, but that's part of it. I think I only had 2 cucumber plants here. So I'm just going to rip all this off. This cage is going to stay right here. I don't need to move it. So next year this will be in the same spot more than likely. And if not, I could just move it. It doesn't matter. So all that's going to just rot there, decompose. And I'm going to grab my tomato cages that are down here. Grab them and stack them up here. So I'll see you in a minute. Alright guys, so I know it's hard to hear me, but next step is to go down through and cut this grass back that's laying out on my tarp. Alright guys, so it is all weed-eated around. The grass that is inside, of course. So that's all done. And I have everything tore up that needs tore up, root-wise. So now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and realign all of my stepping stones and pull out any of the weeds that are in this mulch area where I walk. Now pretty much the way this garden's set up is down the center here, it is just straight mulch to the ground, and I have some square stepping stones. So I think I got the stones for $1 each from Walmart, and the mulch I think it was $1 a bag because I got it was on clearance. So mulched it all the way down through here, put the stones in, and this was just like, it was grass about this tall at the beginning of this year, grass about this tall, and it's very hard soil. So I've had to kind of work with it a little bit. And all I did was I got some of this just tarp matting. It's like something you use for like maybe like a little koi fish pond or something. That black plastic roll. And I got it from Walmart. I can't remember the brand, but it was 2 little short rolls I bought from Walmart. And I rolled that out. Well, first of all, I bought that weed whacker. So now I have that. And I come down and I cut all of it down, everything that I could, you know, stocky stuff I pulled out of the ground. Now this was 2 months into the season this year. I started this. Put down the tarping, and I got some landscaping staples, like the little horseshoes. Tap down the matting on the ground, one on each side. There's a roll on each side, so here and here. Come down through, put my mulch down the center. Really mounded it up too. Now it's flat, but it was really mounded. Put my stones on, and I let it sit for about a week. Or, yeah, say about 2 weeks, I let it sit. I come in and I cut holes where I wanted to plant, and I stuck all the vegetables I got. I just stuck them in. And even though I still got a lot of vegetables this year, I really messed up because I was already two months late into the season. And just say another 2 months after I had them planted is when I realized that the tarp that they were on from the sun, since the plants were still short, because I was wondering why they weren't growing. They wouldn't get any bigger. They, you know, kind of stayed dwarf, and the bottom would keep falling off. And it was because the tarping would take in the sun and it would burn the leaves, so they couldn't get tall. So then I just come in and I put about 1 inch of straw out of the chicken coop, you know, around all the plants and on the tarp. And from then, so 4 months after the start of season, is when my plants actually started growing. So next year it'll be a lot better, and we'll have a nice garden. There's going to be lots of straw decomposed before then, and I'll have new straw down. I'll have all the plants they'll be in. I'll have nutrients for them, and they have nice open sun here. And also, I'd like to say, this matting that I use, this rubber, it's not matting, it's just rubber. It's not rubber, is it? Whatever. The black plastic stuff. You probably know what I'm talking about. That stuff, it looks like a garbage bag, pretty much, but it's a big roll. It holds the water under it really, really well. Like, really well. And I've had no problems with any pest under it. It sits straight to the ground, and it does. It gets really hot, so it's hot under there. Super hot under there. So nothing's going to want to be under that tarp in the summer, or even spring. So it holds the water. Nothing gets in there. The plants love it, because obviously there's no weeds competing with them. And yeah, it worked perfectly. So next year, hopefully, we'll have some really big plants, because now I know what's going on. And I have had gardens before, but this place, it's very hard gardening, because, see, like all my Amish neighbors, they have raised beds, and then they have compost that they brought in and put in. I'm going straight from the ground, and the problem is, if you see our yard, it's a field. This was farmed, so they put nutrients in. So this is like super grass. Like, this stuff is hard, and the soil here it gets very, very balled together. And it's just a pain. So really, the only way for me to do this is something like this. And even raised beds would not work for me, because I can't water them unless I get rain. And you know, the raised beds, they lose that water pretty fast. So this worked fine. So I don't want to keep talking and dragging this on too long, but I'll cut the film now, and I'll pick all this up, just do what I can, and then I'll see you once all that's done. Well, there goes a plane. Try to catch it best I could. It's really, really up there. Oh, there's another one. There it goes. That's why I like this camera. The zoom is unreal. It is unreal. Yeah, very cool. Okay, guys, so the neighbor's bull keeps mooing over there, but I have a heavy-duty plastic rain barrel here. And I've got this little tote right here. So before it starts getting too cold, I have 2 planters here, which I will show you. So see that plastic planter? As soon as these carrots are grown, they're coming out, and then I'm gonna pour the soil. I'm gonna pour the soil that is in that into that tote and cover that tote with that lid. So the soil from this pot and that pot there will be in there stored so that I can put these away so they don't break in the cold. So that'll be in a bit though. Also, I have two little plants here. One's a kai berry, and I think one's goji. But they've been growing all year. Next year I'll have their own spot here. I'll leave them alone. So that was the one. And then the other one is over on the ground. It's very, very small, but they have big roots. So since the garden is pretty well ready now, butterfly bush, obviously just leave it. You can see, looks a lot cleaner. Down through there, everything is laid out. Everything is picked, which I'll show you that in a minute here. But yeah, that's all good. So I'll go ahead and show you my bin real quick, and then I'll take you guys inside with the peppers. So here are some like multicolored carrots. I think they're purple, mainly purple. And I have them in this like mesh raised bed, just so, you know, it's not plastic and it don't freeze. Oh, there's Duke again. What is it, Duke? Dookie! What? What is it, buddy? Alright, I don't know what he wants. But the kale, those are normal carrots, half longs, and the broccoli's there. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Okay guys, so here's the basket of just like the poblanos that I pulled. There's like jalapenos and stuff over there, but here's a habanero, which I already have some dried. Probably the last 3 cayennes. So some of them turned red, some of them didn't. I can't really leave these out in the sun because they're going to go bad now. Because they've been sitting on the plant for a bit. So I'll just do them green. It doesn't really matter. They're still full-size grown peppers. So got a little basket full. Here's my dehydrator. And just to show you guys, because I won't be showing the finished product in this video because this takes a couple of days. But I'm going to breathe this in. That's what I've already done. Right there. You can see the seeds and the powder in the bottom. But they're pretty good actually. They're about double the spice you'll get from, you know, store-bought red chili flakes. But pretty good. So I'll do a couple on camera here and I'll show you the thing filled at the end. This might be too many peppers for one batch. So I lightly rinse these and I just kind of wipe the rest off. Doesn't really matter. Now this one, it has a little spot on the bottom. So I'm going to cut that out. Oh, that is spicy. You'll be able to tell if they're bad or not. They have like a, what do you say? It's a weird smell. You'll know if they're bad or not for these. So I just cut them in half like this. And then I just cut that little core out. Pull that out. I'll leave whatever seeds are on it there. And I'll cut this in half again. So pretty much I just quarter the peppers is what I do. I just quarter them up. So here's another one. Pull that like that. You can just rip that off if you want. And then place down the center. Just like that. So these red ones are the real tasty ones. I'm not sure, maybe I will try to get these to turn red. Because they won't have near the spice I want. So real quick, wasn't thinking, I'm going to have this bottom tray at the bottom here. So if any of these seeds fall, they'll dry and then I'll add them in the mix because you want the seeds. But these seeds here, I just kind of leave them. So another one, grab the stem, pull that off, cut it in half. And then Pull the top. Cut them in half again. You can even rip them in half too if you want. So I'm going to do the rest of these, and I will see you guys whenever these trays are full. Okay guys, so I got habanero in my mouth. Here's one right here. Probably the last one I can dry. But tray 1, tray 2, tray 3, and then tray 4 is under that. So all I gotta do now is put the dehydrator to 145 is what I do for these peppers. I'll do 145 in this. And I do it, usually it's at least a day. And this is an old dehydrator. I know you guys, a lot of people have some nice ones, but this is an old one, so that's why I'm doing this. Just put the lid on. Obviously make sure that's on, and I'll have it right there dehydrating. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I don't know if it's going to be long. It probably is a little bit longer because I filmed a lot, but I will see you guys in the next video. And yeah, these are pretty good. So I'll be growing them again next year. I'd like to give a quick thanks to all my Patreons. Everybody on the board is active now, and I appreciate all of the support. So if you want to be one, link is always down below. And once again, thank you for supporting.